and we probably should say I did that one. I printed those already. You know where we did it? Well, they need to tell me when we're, and we did have a, we did have an oncology certain activity to add in this. Maybe. Well, we should get around. Telegraphs, really.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Lucy Robbins Wells Library Board of Trustees meeting on Monday, June 8th. Isn't it nice to start a meeting at 7? I will turn this over to Elizabeth for a roll call.
George Bronco,
Here.
Melissa Hazley,
Here.
Jason Pitt,
Present.
David Horrigan,
Here.
Pam Myrie,
Here.
Colleen Clark, Leah Mankey,
Here.
Joanne Massey,
Here.
David Nagel,
Here.
Maureen O'Connor Lyons,
Here.
Chris Riley,
Here.
Christine Shushin,
Here.
Diane Sam,
Here.
Lisa Maston,
Here.
Jennifer Hebert, here, Sheila Rowell,
Here.
Kelly DeHaas,
Here.
and AJ Piniakos.
Here.
Great, thank you. Public participation. Do we have anybody online?
No longer there.
Okay, we had someone earlier and I think they decided they were in the wrong place and they hopped off, but if they come back, they can be part of public participation at the end of the meeting. Town council liaison reports, anything from AJ or Kelly?
Tomorrow we have a few presentations. We're gonna honor the volunteer of the year. There is, we're gonna update an ordinance on, the school bus, like when you go by a school bus, like the process in which people get, ticketed after that. The state changed some laws, so we need to update the ordinance regarding that. There's a couple of budget transfer things happening. Nothing too exciting, so it's somewhat quiet, which is good, right? So, yeah, nothing too crazy.
Thank you. Kelly, anything to add from your end?
No, not that would impact the library, I don't think.
Thank you. Secretary's report. George Bernardo?
No report.
No report. Approval of minutes. Did everybody have a chance to read through the minutes? Any corrections or changes?
I just had a suggestion on page 4 of the board meeting minutes. It says the library is also offering 250th programs in June and August. Is that supposed to be June through August or just those 2 months? Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed that. So
It's June, July, and August.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All 3 months. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
Second.
What
Leanne.
are the rules? Did you have to wait for next?
Obviously not.
No, it's not like Jeopardy.
Okay. I could ask everything as a question. Okay, so it's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Review of annual activities.
Diane, before you go on, I think at the last meeting, we tabled the April approval minutes.
Oh, yes.
Because we need more information from AJ or Kelly.
I didn't print those out. Do you have those?
I think it was specifically, there was a line, then there's a town council will be sending stuff to the name nominating committee. We weren't sure what stuff that. It was from the April meeting.
From the earlier meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm aware that the naming is gonna be used, right in front of them is the gym. They were planning to name it after, Bill Mayo.
The quote is town council will be sending stuff to the name nominating committee. That's what we had. We didn't know what that was about.
Oh, yeah, so I think that's the only thing that I am aware of that's in front of the docket as of right now.
Okay.
Okay, so how would we report that? Sending a petition, sending a nomination?
Didn't our, I don't
Your
even think they've
request?
met yet, so it was brought up at council, the recommendation was made at council to bring it to them. But I don't think they've met yet to talk about it, so,
Okay, so I need a new word other than stuff.
Information.
yeah, I mean, I would just say,
Data.
Request?
yeah, or I'd just say the recommendations, just talk about the recommendations.
Sending recommendations to the name nominating committee, yeah.
Okay, so we can update accordingly. Do I have approval for the amendment to the April minutes?
So move.
Second.
Thank you, okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. That carries forward, so thanks very much for that. Okay, so now back to the annual activities calendar. On a side note, can I just say I'm pleased that we finally had our staff appreciation dinner. It was last week, I think, looked like everybody was having a good time, on it. It was nice for everybody to kind of get to know each other a little bit better, see the names and faces, so it was pretty good. Yes.
I would like to thank Lisa particularly and her staff for all the help that they did in preparing for the staff appreciation. I loved the invitation. I thought it was so clever. And that was a staff, Lisa. And Lisa was a big help to me. She actually came with me to the restaurant to, you know, help choose menu items and stuff. So I want to thank you. I know Jen, I'm sure you did a lot, and anybody else that helped. Couldn't do it without the staff. They are truly appreciated. Thank you.
It's funny how that goes in a circle, and I'd also like to recognize Maureen, because we had a list of restaurants to call and find out whatever, and she just took that and ran with it to try and figure out which places that were suggested were actually available.
You know, you think about the Berlin Turnpike in Newington, there's a ton of eating establishments, but nothing really conducive to what we wanted. You could go sit down and have a fancy dinner somewhere. A lot of places don't have a room, you know, so anyway, it's not as simple as it looks. And especially if we have to confine our venue choices, so we might want to think about expanding our horizons in 2 years.
The distance driving.
We'll see who's up there on New Year's. Things change a lot, so, you know, we have a different choice.
Again, thank you for that. I'm glad that we were finally
You're
able
welcome. My pleasure.
to get that completed. We're just a year late. And really, that's because the library's been so busy with so many programs and things. It's not that they didn't wanna hang out with us, it's but they were just busy. So again, I'm glad that you were able to check that off. It is June. Thank you notes for 5K race sponsors. We're gonna need to get those out. We can talk about that later. Committee assignments, we talked about getting those, and they were in your packet for you to at least see what some of those committees are and the definitions. For the newbies on the board, you know, you're beginning to get a little feel for what's going on and what's happening. We'll have to set up for our annual meeting, which will be in September. And while I'm thinking of it, just let the newer folks know, and to remind those of us that have been doing it for a while. The annual meeting, we will have a business meeting beforehand. It will be extremely quick. I usually encourage committees to say, no report. Obviously, if there's something critical that we need to talk about and discuss, we'll go through that. At 7 o'clock, we have the annual meeting. And again, the public is, invited to attend all meetings, but that's where we have our annual meeting. That's where we do recognition of volunteers and things like that. So we try to wrap up our business part between 6 and 7, hopefully a little bit before 7, so we have a moment to get ready for the annual meeting. And our director will give a state of the library speech. And I'll say a few words back and forth, and that's when we'll have our nominations for the different officers and things like that. So annual meeting, remember, there'll be 2 parts. We'll remind you, in August, but just so you know what's going on. And that's what I have under June and just forecasting forward. And then really in July and August, there are committee meetings if needed, but there's no board meeting. So you get Monday nights off, unless somebody sneaks a meeting in there. Because usually we have open. All right, so that's pretty much the activities calendar.
I have one thing to add to that, just so we can become part of the annual. Fiscal year end is June 30th. I just ask a reminder that everybody have everything in regarding financials, if you have reimbursements or fund projects that have to be funded, or you have to submit payments, that you have them in before June 30, because then we have to start preparing for the 990. Thank you.
Writing it down. Okay. Thank you, that's a good point. So dovetailing with that, nobody has questions, we'll move into treasurer's report with Leanne Mason.
Okay, I sent it out. I apologize for the revisions. Somewhere in there, I cut and pasted the wrong thing, so. It was one of those late night things that had to be corrected, so the revised sheet is what we go into. The fully accessible accounts, the unrestricted checking stands at $90,023.11. It was a very busy month between the race and other programs and things going on. We also have the first of our insurance payments that went out. We have a bunch of them that happened over the summer. The first directors and officers, that's been paid, and then the balance of the crime and the business policies and things are typically August, September. The money market restricted fund stands at $57,437.54. The unrestricted funds at Kingston stands at $453,147.95. Unrestricted and restricted investment account stands at a combination of $511,129.05. The Hanel endowment currently sits at $510,321.31. The restricted, unrestricted breakdown puts about 38% restricted on all of our funds, so it's not all accessible. And the Margaret Hooker stands at $494,465.43. That's the one that we can use the gains on. The Anne Marino Living Trust. I've just signed what I think is the last of the paperwork with the attorney. And they are expecting a transfer of funds across the in the next 2 months as they settle out. They're at the point now where they're just kind of settling the last of the estate expenses. So we will have those, and there are no restrictions on those monies. So when it comes in, investment will meet with Kingston, Dean, and we'll get ourselves in order with that. The one thing I did make a note of was the fact that the door, which we paid the initial half for $19,150, 50% deposit. They were scheduled to start for May 1st. Unfortunately, due to weather issues and things, they did not start. They were going to start today, but they actually started last week. It is in process. It is quite a process. So somewhere across the summer, we will be paying the balance. I did, at the time at the meeting, I did not have results. We have gotten results. We did not receive the 1772 grant. So, while it's disappointing when you go into the site and look at what was granted, I don't want to say people who are worse off than us, but ours is more, facade. And the people that got the awards were primarily like their roof is falling in. So, I mean, I think it's a case of they picked where it needed to go, and ours wasn't quite as needful as.
How much money was that?
Potentially 10. But in the meantime, on a good note, Joe Salomon and I have been spending a lot of time together. Finding the facilities director, who I can not say enough about. And he confirmed to me last week that the town will be putting $10,000 toward the project. So what was 38.3 will be 28.3 for us. And we'll work that out at the end when final payment, but that's a huge save for our part. So I greatly appreciate that. And we still haven't heard about the other grant that we have out there for the signs, so I don't have any financial information on that. And that's where I stand.
Thank you. Any questions for Leanne?
Leanne, so what will our out-of-pocket cost be
For the door,
for the door?
the quote was 38.3. So far, we have no change orders. There were some questions, but right now it's still at 38.3. We will be at 28.3 once the town puts in their 10,
Okay,
which is,
reasonable.
I mean, it's a lot, it's amazing how much work. I know way too much, probably more than I ever want to know about millwork. But it is quite an involved process and they're doing a good job but it's gonna take a while. We're gonna be a mess up there for a while, because they have to.
But you
bring
had
the stuff.
got, there were much higher quotes, weren't there?
Yes, yes, but it's like any restoration where you pull things down and you discover things. It's not like a new build where you know exactly what you have. So they're encountering a few issues. Right now, our price is still the same.
It's historical restoration, right?
Yes, we are not. Library itself is not on the historical register. The library is in the historic district, which then has to comply with historical data. And we're trying to make sure everything's in compliance. I did talk to SHPO and so far we're all set.
Thank you. No other questions? All right, thank you. Library director's report is an estimate.
So first, I just wanted to thank the board again for such a fun night last Friday night. I thought it went really well and staff seemed to really enjoy themselves. So thank you very much for that. That was a lot of fun. I know you want to have them go outside their comfort zone, but good luck with that one.
It's important that we're all.
Yeah, exactly. But I think they really enjoyed it. It was very nice. So they are gonna have to do a little bit of work on the parking lot. They might start this week or next week. If you notice when you leave and you're going towards Garfield Street, water is pooling. That's what they have to fix, some sort of. Yeah, something, I don't know, I don't really. But tentatively, they might start this week or next week. We don't have a firm date. And it shouldn't be that long. It should be. They say that, or a few days maybe. So just so you're aware of that. We did have some staff were in the Memorial Day Parade. Our theme this year for summer reading is plant a seed, read. So they decorated a little wagon with paper flowers, and two of our staff, or one of our staff, or two kids were in the wagon. They were pitching dum-dums at everybody, and but I guess it was very fun. I think it rained a little bit. I don't know if anyone went, but it sprinkled a little bit at the beginning. But that was nice that they wanted to do that. We have our summer reading kickoff for adults is next Tuesday from 10 to 7. It's a drop-in to register. And then the children's is later because school ends later this year. So I think it's on it's a Friday night on the 26th. The library will be closing at 4 that day so they can set up. It starts, I think, at 5:30. So we're just gonna close a little early to help them out there. And we have some 250th programs. What do they do? Here, I'm sorry. Coming up in June, Jen's doing Liberty's Gender, Women, Popular Culture in the American Revolution. One other program, Dan Nahorny is doing a program for us. He used to be a library board member. And he's doing a program about creating your ideal retirement. And that's on June 22nd. And then we're doing, at the end of the month, we're doing one called Declaring Independence, the language that changed in empire. And it's talking about the Declaration of Independence. And then we have one in August and one in July and a couple in August. And then children's are doing some as well. One that I think I told you about this last month. They're doing learn to write like Thomas Jefferson.
In other words, sign like cursive.
Yeah, cursive. So that's kind of fun.
That's way beyond.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I have.
Thank you.
Jen's gonna talk about what we've been doing last month.
Any questions for Lisa? No? Online? No? Okay, assistant director's report, Jen.
Quickly personnel, not much to say, besides we are posting internally for the key part-time position. Still, If there's no interest in the library or within the other town departments that are gonna benefit as well, we'll post it, externally. Just on the horizon. Otherwise, our entire lives have been just all about Polaris, the new iOS, library computer system that we've been, getting used to, getting to know each other. We're very focused on the migration. It was successfully migrated last week Wednesday, June 3rd. So, the, staff side, Polaris, that is up and running. So far, so good. Couple little hiccups, but we're addressing it. And then the patron side, the patron online catalog, known as Vega, that is also went live at the same time. Mostly smooth transitions, staff has been adequately trained, there are more training sessions coming up with like more specific stuff, they know the basics. And so as we get familiar with the system, more questions are popping up and we just need to address those questions, so there's more training sessions on the horizon as well. Putting out little flyers here and there as things pop up that, either we didn't know about or it's not working the way it should, glitches here and there. Our latest thing is the ZMC, that is the, computer system that handles our exam passes. So the issue is coming up with, checking things back in. So it's fine. We're working around it or reporting it to the powers that be that have the ability to fix it, because a lot of the stuff we can't fix. So we're just reporting it as it comes up and working their stuff. Patrons are finding out that they need to reset their PIN. We tried to notify them before all this, but someone didn't get the memo, and so we're just walking them through how to reset their PIN so they can access their account online. We're happy to do it for them over the phone. They can do it themselves through their email. On it. Otherwise, the last thing outstanding is the new app. That's still in limbo. We were promised it would come out last week. Hasn't. Again, it's outside of our control. We're waiting for the company, the organization that is handling this whole migration to let us know when it's ready, and it's not. So, fingers
What will
crossed.
the app give us access to?
So,
For us or for you?
it's for patrons to use on their phone. So instead of going on the library's website and then logging in on the website, they can then just take out the phone and go on the app. It's nicer looking, it saves them a step. Everything they can want to do on the app, they could do on the full website, if they so choose.
Have you gotten any patron feedback?
I had one, she said she went into the catalog and she said it was fine.
So
Fine.
I have a friend who's a former library employee, in another town, and she said the one glitch she ran into, like with you used to be able, like a book that was ordered but not in the library, you could put that on hold, and the new system wasn't allowing that.
Oh, okay.
That was her discovery, so, she.
Want to check on me.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
okay. I like to know the stick glitches.
Otherwise, she said that she thought it was very user friendly.
Yeah, for staff wise, I think it's fairly intuitive, same thing with the patron one Vega. It's very, like, they try to make it as simple as non-cluttered as it possibly can. It's just getting used to something new. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We heard a lot of chit chat about that.
Yeah, I'm complaining.
They were 3 days in. They survived. Good, so any questions for Jen? Next is Friends of the Library, Sheila Rao. Sheila.
We're starting to plan for the next book sale and, probably do a pop-up book sale in the children's department sometime during the summer vacation and give books to them. Other than that, this is the last meeting I'll be coming to because I'm no longer, after this, I'm no longer vice president. So now Lee Harbison will be, the vice president. I did my 3 years.
Sounds like a prison sentence.
No, I have really enjoyed and I am gonna miss, these meetings.
You're
'Cause I
welcome
really
anytime.
enjoyed them.
Yeah, you
Yes,
come anytime you'd like.
Are you still going to be on the board though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On the Friends.
Yeah, Friends Board,
Yeah,
yeah.
on the Friends Board doing the book sales. Well, we've enjoyed your company here over the last 3 years. You certainly kept us updated on what's going on in the Friends Corner. Appreciate it. And I know you still do the hard work of the book sale, so. Crazy, thank you. Anybody have questions or thoughts? We have the annual meeting, right, this week, Wednesday, in
Yes,
this room.
6 o'clock Wednesday, and following their annual meeting, Marty Gitlin will be the speaker. He's gonna talk about books made into movies, like famous books or movies that were made into books or whatever.
And
He's
the
pretty,
website says to register, but that's to keep the numbers.
yeah, if you can come, that would be great. If you don't register, that's fine.
Okay.
Usually there's plenty of room.
Yeah, cause I had the question, cause I was planning as the board representative to go to the meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have
So
to.
it'll probably be a lot like our annual meeting in that you probably won't be asked to present an update to the friends on what the.
It's just an annual meeting. They don't have
Okay.
the business meeting.
They don't have a business.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right.
But I think it's an interesting topic, especially.
And is he speaking in here or?
It's all in here. It's on this room, yeah.
So that's
That's
Wednesday,
a 6
this
o'clock,
week?
Sheila?
Yeah.
Wednesday, it starts at 6. They're gonna elect their officers and they are gonna give out the scholarships to the students. And they have a few people that they're gonna announce the friend of the year and they have a few people that they're honoring.
Okay.
And then they'll start the year presentation.
Person's been doing it for sure.
So, thank you. Any other questions or thoughts around Friends with their annual meeting? No? All right, committee reports, budget, we're pretty much set with the budget. So
Just
safe to say no report?
safe to say no report, at least for me. Unless the
Okay.
council representatives have something that I'm unaware of.
Okay, great, thanks. So Pat, planning evaluation, yes, Maureen?
Yes, at the last meeting, we discussed two policies, the meeting room policy and behavior. And changes had been made and we couldn't vote on them until this meeting. So tonight, we can actually vote on the change that was made to the meeting room policy, which is under section 3, 0.5. It's just alcohol beverages as prohibited. So that's the new item. In the behavior policy, Chris Riley, in reviewing it, spoke with Lisa, and in the third paragraph, the second sentence says, blocking the entrance is not permitted for the safety permitted. So that's a new addition, and if you could all just take a look at that, and we won't be able to vote on that until September. But
I had
it
a
makes
quick-
sense.
I had a question though.
Yes.
Don't we have bike racks up front here?
But they, no, inside.
Oh, I thought it said on,
on-
it says on premises.
No, it does say that. I mean, I
Blocking
guess.
the entrance is not permitted. So one night I was leaving the library and an e-bike came from where the sundial is, right across our front doors, not down where the steps are. Zoom.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to get confused because that's where, you know.
Because we do allow bikes on the grounds, but not necessarily in the building. I don't know if there's a.
Right.
Well, it might be the
Or
only
blocking the
means of transportation for some people too, so.
Yes, but it shouldn't come across the lawn through
Should
the
go
front
around the steps.
and
But
down.
this just needs to be corrected.
So that's,
So
how do we want it written?
Well, you definitely don't want it in the building, that part.
It's not just the
Not
building,
permitted
it's
in-
the stairs,
Stay away
it's
from
the
stairs.
ramp, it's
On
the.
the, if you say on the premises, then you go beyond the whole thing, so people aren't gonna park there, so that can't work, but.
So should it be-
exception.
Bike should be stored in the bike rack?
Or we identify near, any sidewalks or entranceways, something like that. That way, that eliminates the stairwells and the sidewalk situations.
Entranceways.
Not
Yeah.
permitted access points and.
Sidewalks, entranceways, access points.
Are
Maybe
these
that's
two
the way to
different
put it.
issues? Are you talking about weaving them and versus? Both.
Well, no,
Yeah.
but it says here they're not permitted on the ground.
I know.
So that's where
So-
I
well,
guess
that's
we have to
what we're
clarify.
going to change, I thought. If, they're not permitted in the building, in the entranceways.
So I guess we have to spell that, we can
You have
spell
to
it
Spell
out.
it out.
spell
You
that
have
out,
to
but
spell it out because.
eliminate on the grounds, I mean. To Pam's point, you know, somebody may only have
No, I
access to a
understand that. I
bicycle to get
understand
here.
that, yeah. I understand.
So
everybody
how
here
shall we
knows what we
word it?
mean, it's just for the
Pam,
person
you're-
who's gonna nitpick it apart and say.
Yeah, the person who argues it is gonna turn around and say, we didn't say it specifically. So
Pam,
that's
what
all.
would you suggest?
So we're talking about where they should be left, right?
No, well, no, we're talking
No, where
about,
they're not able to drive them.
There's two things that go.
Right.
Right, you have legitimate people that ride their bikes, e-bikes, whatever, skateboards to the library, and, you know, they may bring their skateboard in with them, they can't use it in here.
Right.
Then we have the more adventurous folks that use our steps and our hand railings as skateboard ramps and who cut through in front of the library doors as you step out on the, you know, literally exit the door to the library on that upper stairway there. So that's what we're trying to do, is discourage or have a policy that says, you know, responsible behavior. This is not a skate park. I think that's what we're trying to get.
Or maybe you eliminate like the skateboards and the things like rollerblades and roller skates are not on premises. But then you go back to the items that are more transportation related, which are scooters, bicycle and e-bikes, and say, something along the lines of that they're not allowed on sidewalks, entry and access points. And,
Maybe not allowed to be ridden.
yeah, or we specifically say where they can be. Transportation items can be left at the, like the bike stands or something like that, but.
But if I've ridden a skateboard to the library, can I pick it up and bring it in the library with me? I can't ride it in the library, but can I have my backpack and my skateboard with me? So that's.
That's true too, that's a piece of.
This needs to be completely redone.
I mean, is it possible for us to kind of take it offline and figure out what the
Yeah.
wording is for it, since we're not
Yeah.
voting on it
Yeah.
now? And then we can come back,
That's a
we can
good
figure it out
idea.
that way and kind of
Yeah.
work back and forth. to
But
get-
that's the
But
intent, yeah.
but the other thing is now you're not, I mean, unless you wanna do it over the summer, I'm just saying you won't be able to vote on it until October.
No, we would do it.
Unless you want to
Before
insert after
September.
skateboard or riding scooters, bicycles, or e-bikes. E-bikes are not permitted in designated
We can
areas where
rewrite
they
it,
want to
just,
put them.
as long as we can vote on it in September, that's
Yeah.
fine, we'll send it out. there.
Rewrite it, but what has to happen is it has to be mailed out to everybody for the vote
Right,
in September.
We'll email
yeah, that's
the
fine.
changes.
Yep.
So anybody who wants to, give their input as to how it should
Send it
be
to
worded.
you.
Pardon me?
Send it to you.
Send it to me and copy Lisa, please.
I think we all know what we mean, but
Yes.
people who are gonna interpret it, that's the issue.
Is there a plan to have a sign describing the policy?
Pardon me?
Will there be a sign outside describing the policy?
No. They have the sign out there now about, I think it's loitering though, right? Outside.
Could you put one by the stairs that says skateboards are not allowed on the stairs? The stairwell, the stair.
I think there's something out there, I think now, but it's all the others, we haven't had skateboards, that hasn't been the issue.
It's an e-bike.
It's the e-bikes.
Yeah.
And
Does the
electric
town have
scooters.
any policy or any public statement?
I don't think they do.
Are there
Fine.
laws, like traffic laws for e-bikes?
It depends, I think it depends on
Depends on how fast they go
Yeah.
and what the laws are.
You
because
can't catch them.
some go too fast for minors to operate. They should all have helmets. You know, it goes through, but,
I can ask the town hall if they have a policy too, if you want, just to,
No.
for the heck of it.
AJ's shaking his head.
Not yet,
Is there a
but
bus
it sounds like maybe. something that
Yes.
we should take action
Would
on.
affect.
Well, we can't be the only building that has stairs and other issues.
Would it be our responsibility to do that kind of publicity, or would it become a town?
No, it's your policy.
It's our policy.
It's our building.
Okay, so that's something we can discuss as far as the public.
Okay.
But again, anybody who's wants to,
Take a step in.
contribute to the wording, send it to me and
So
we'll
where,
have it.
okay, so where would you think that it would be okay, like the parking lot? 'Cause that's a little scary to me,
Ride the bike.
yeah.
Well, if they're coming up
Right,
to, but if they're
No.
coming in to park at the rack,
To be
I
trans.
mean, they have to have access.
Well, so maybe it should be, bike should be ridden and stored on the lower level, by the bike racks.
And they're right out there?
Yes,
Okay.
the bottom of the stairs, if you're coming out of the library, bottom of the stairs to the right, that U shape,
Yeah.
swivel shape thing, that's where you can lock your bikes.
Can only be driven on paved surfaces.
Well, that means sidewalks. And if that was an issue.
Asphalt.
We don't have asphalt up to the sidewalks, I think we're getting a little, I think we have to have something in the policy,
Yeah,
so
we have to
nobody can say.
Figure it out.
It says I couldn't ride across your lawn and
No.
clip people as they're
Right.
coming out the front.
But it's
Figure out a
going
way
up
around
the
it.
stairs and in this
In
little
the ramp.
outside vestibule
And also,
area.
park- they throw their bikes down in front of the doors and come inside.
Yeah, so keep that in mind, folks.
To add more context,
It'll be a much longer paragraph.
the town-
Ages got something.
AJ.
The town adopted what the state put out as like their e-bike policy, so we enforce whatever the state dictates, and it pretty much just defines whether or not an e-bike needs a license, wearing a helmet, where they can and cannot like operate and stuff like that, so. If you wanna reference at least, we don't have a specific one, but we just follow what the state does.
Right, right.
Go on the sidewalks.
So, well, but that's our problem, the
Take a bus.
egregious problem, besides just dropping the bikes, as they
Yeah.
come in the front door would be the few people that scream across the lawn and then this upper level here.
Okay. So, that
So you're gonna
all
amend
being
that,
said,
send it out this summer?
yeah,
Did you say the meeting?
we need to take a vote on the meeting room policy, adding under section 3, item 5, alcoholic beverages are permitted. Prohibited.
I'll make a
I like
motion
it.
to accept the revised,
Alcoholic beverages are prohibited, so
I'll make a motion to accept the revised policy statement for meeting rooms.
is there a second?
I second. George.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Alcoholic beverages are prohibited.
Except for Winterfest. Except for Winterfest.
Well, but that's,
They
That's
get
different.
special permission, yes, I
you
know.
know, people, the question was, can I, essentially bring a flask while I'm in the reading room, that kind of thing, so. Okay, thank you all.
Okay. So that's. Yep. Investment, Jason has.
1 second.
So for the hooker amount, beginning balance, was $459,549.19. There was, some withdrawals and then, some income, the ending balance of the period was $494,456 and change. For the Hainault account, we started off at $494,042.69. It was some more addition than what was their expenses in the $300 range. And then we had a change in market value, so the ending amount was $510,321.31. I know that we're going to have what was it, the investment committee report, that probably hinges off of Leanne's, but we start off at $494,781.12, with the ins and outs. We ended up having $511,129.05. For the percentage of the restricted amount is about 8.3%. I know for the investment account too, a lot of these numbers wind up changing whenever, well, we'll get the endowment from Ann Marino. And then we gotta have some conversations on how we would like to go and invest that money, because I know it's general and it's unrestricted, but we want to kind of take a look at that and how we want to strategize on things around the
Short-term, long-term investment.
short-term, long-term, yes. So I think after, whenever you said 2 months until we can get the big final check into our bank account, but we'll have some meetings to figure out what the story is with the investment committee. I'm sure yourself and Leanne and Dave, so.
So overall, though, our investments are rising in this economy.
Correct.
We have watched them go up and down,
Yeah.
but right now.
Yeah, they're doing well right now, so, no big hiccups. So, besides that.
Great, so we're back on track to be able to mail those out monthly.
Correct, yeah, I have access to the website now, know how to pull the information with Leanne's help. We had a tutorial, so.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Jason on investments? Bill, you have to speak up if you want to say anything at some point, because I keep missing anything online. House committee. So I like this part. I get to turn over a lot of the information from House committee to Leanne, who has done nothing, right, with all her other jobs and what's going on. She does have even more information on the Churchill door to go through for us. And then an update on curtains and things from that end, so.
Curtains are in process. They're taken apart now, the old ones, which basically, I shouldn't say taken apart, they kind of disintegrated off of the forms. Facilities is making new forms for you. In the meantime, I have one form to work for and making the forms for that particular section. Facilities will come back and make new forms, same format. The library, the quiet reading room is a little larger scale, but they're gonna do the same type of thing. Haven't started those yet. I'm trying to get those, the first 4 done. The weekends that are cold are working out very well for the library. But anyway, so that's where we are with those. I'm hoping to have those in place very soon. As soon as I can get all the forms back from Joe and company at facilities. Again, can't say enough about facilities. Joe has been helping a great deal with this door. We kept getting put off because of the weather and things with Cronenberger. They are the millwork contractor who's got this. They were scheduled to start today, but they were able to come on last week. We've had some false starts up until this point. The crew that's here now, I can't say that the foreman is very good, as is his assistant. Some very interesting things about the door. Over the course of time, since 1939, a lot of the pieces of the facade and the pilasters and things are original. And I learned a lot of things about old growth wood that I never knew and things that aren't available anymore. So replacing like with like is not necessarily even possible because it just doesn't exist anymore. So, we're working to make sure we're not violating any historical aspects of it. We are sticking with wood components because, the State Historical Preservation Organization and the Register frown on composites and things like that. So we're sticking with wood. In one case, the big flat piece that rides under the scroll is going to be plywood, which was not in existence in 1939, but somewhere between 1939 and 1988, that was replaced by town maintenance with a sheet of plywood. So we're replacing like with like. So we got that cleared by SHPO because that was a big stumbling block. Otherwise we'd had to put something in that had channels and lots of water damage. We've worked with flashing, we've worked with all sorts of other things, and everybody's on the same page now, and they have taken a lot of it. Doesn't look very good because they've taken a lot of pieces out and they're literally going back to their shop and making the new placement pieces like for like. They are able to use Spanish cedar for a lot of those things, but when they took them down, it's amazing the decay that's occurred. So we are working to restore as well as put in place things that will keep it at least beyond my lifetime. So, but the goal, it's still gonna be about a 7-week project, so.
Thank you. I know that's a lot of work and a lot of phone calls and running around, so thank you. Greatly
That's okay,
appreciate it.
I live for this stuff.
One more time, but mean it. when you
Yeah.
say it. Thank you, appreciate that. Okay, facility and site, Christopher Riley.
All right, so, May 19th, Lark had a meeting with, town council leadership, kind of discussing, forward steps with the project. We presented material from the presentation that we had originally planned on May 12th. We had at this meeting, as we had figured, the main concern was going to be cost. We knew costs of materials, everything's, been going up and probably won't be going down. And the town council had wanted to revisit, with Lark in the fall to kind of see, where we could go, go from there. So shortly after that, on May 21st, we had the next Lark meeting, so we discussed what happened there. We talked about, focus on, the communication campaign and the fundraising aspect, because those are gonna be two big pieces that, we need to spend some time on and get the community support for. And at that meeting, we were also polling current members to just confirm membership as well, just making sure that we have a full complement on our committee. I'll let George talk about the video discussion meeting we had on May 26th. But then we had June 1st, we had another joint facility and site communication meeting. Once again, I mentioned about the shift to the communication campaign and fundraising, which isn't too much different than what we've already been kind of starting to do anyways, is focus on that. We talked about, looking possibly for outside assistance with expertise in these areas. Because we have a lot of great ideas ourselves, but we're not necessarily the, experts, so just, looking to see what we can do from there. We talked about, other successful library projects that may have advice or contacts, someone that, we can talk to and see, if they can help on with that. We are finalizing the survey. Thanks, Lisa and Jen for pulling all our suggestions and everything together for that. And one of the, things we were talking about too was, just kind of continuing to keep the town council and town manager informed, via Lark and as well as, the board feeding the information from that, as we continue in the process, towards trying to get to a referendum, sometime in the future.
Any questions for Chris? Thank you. Appreciate that. Fund development, I said there's no report on that, I haven't, been away, so I didn't, meet up with Joanne and get any kind of information or things happening, but we will do that over the summer.
I would like to make one suggestion regarding fund development. When investments meet, which will probably be over the summer, we're anticipating, I think fund development, it would behoove you to attend.
Sure.
So that we have input in that regard, because, it's a sizable request and put your thinking cap on.
Good point. Thank you. Um. Any other thoughts or questions around from film? Nope, okay. Nominations, Maureen Lines.
That time of the year, you've all received the nomination form. Self-explanatory, indicate which committees you would be interested in, your first, second, and third choices, and if you're interested in chairing any of the committees. If you are a corporate member, please indicate if you would be interested in an officer's position. And if you, if your term is up, please also indicate if you would be willing to continue on the board. Apparently, I'm the only one that's
Expiring.
expired
That's
in 2026. So I'm the only one that has to make a big decision. The back of the form has the description of the committees, and included in the documents, the board documents that were sent with the minutes, etc., are the, you know, the list of our board names and your expiration dates. So, you can fill these out if you know what you're about and give them to me tonight. Otherwise, I can collect them as the
Well, the one caveat to that is that at the September meeting is when we.
is when we vote,
For
but
officer positions.
yeah,
But
but
the committee assignments.
fortunately or unfortunately, probably for many years in the past, there hasn't been any contest. You know, we could switch it up and make it interesting. Hello, anybody? I mean, it would, you can email the information to me over this, you know, over the summer. But yeah, the ballot, unless there is somebody, you know, more than one person running for one office, it's usually one ballot that's cast. But ahead of time would be great, and I encourage all of you to seriously consider maybe a different committee assignment, or, you know, or an additional committee assignment to get your head around other things that we do. And for the corporate members, I also would encourage you to consider an officer's position. Right now, it's Diane, president, Christopher, vice president, George, secretary, and Leanne, treasurer.
So if I might just add a few things. One, if you're interested in a treasurer's position, that comes not only with responsibility, but it comes with signatory rights. So, if you're interested in that, it's not a 6-month commitment. Ideally, it's, you know, it's a couple of years, and there would be ride along and training and what have you. Also, I wanted to bring up the fact that as a corporate member, you can be an officer. But if you happen to be a town appointee now, and you're thinking that you would like to take on an executive office, there are some open corporate positions. So we have the ability to move positions around and what have you. So if your designation today is town, but you would really like to take on this year, next year, whatever, you think that you want to be on a track to become an officer, let me know. We can, you know, work things out or figure things out or know what's going on. We've, you know, eventually, we like to see new people in those positions.
Very
So,
good point, Diane, thank
I
you.
just think, you know, think about it. And it doesn't mean that if you raise your hand now that October 1st, you know, that's it. You're in the position and you don't know what you're doing. But if you're thinking like, you know, I just joined, I like what I see, I want to be a part of the board, I want to see what I can do, maybe not this year, but next year, whatever it is. I'm just saying, you know, don't sit back and say, oh, too bad I'm not a corporate member, I can't be on this track. Well, yes, you can, we have ways of helping that, but it helps if the board in general knows that that's an interest of yours, so we can help work together. So,
Are you angling for a big going away party or?
no, I don't need a party. So however that goes, however it works out. So next up is communications, George.
Yeah, so we met on the 26th, we talked about social media promotions, promoting the liquidated checks and, the guinea pig blood just left. We talked about Fun Fact Friday, that's still being promoted. One thing we did talk about, enhancing, especially with the current economic environment, cost savings. We talked about, promoting what you can save for Wi-Fi, books, promoting what the cost saving for books, so when people check out, and just showing them the money they save. Notaries save money on being notarized. And then, the meeting spaces, that can be a very, important part for people who want to look to get away, for education. We also were talking about, upcoming events. We talked about the Waterfall Festival, promoting that, going and going to the library at that, this trick or treat stroll. And doing, raffles, giving away information, having sort of engagement when we give away prizes. The bookmark with the QR code, that was one of the things that was suggested. But that's one of the things
What's the date of the Waterfall Festival?
It's usually the third Saturday of September.
Of September?
Yes.
So if we were gonna do something on that. we have-
Chambers already got their stuff out, if we want to.
So if we wanna do that, we need to move on that over the summer, and then we need to make sure that we have people that are available and willing to sit at the booth.
and trick or treat stroll too, just what soon after that too, so.
That's October though, right?
Yeah, but we were thinking about doing the extravaganza, but we thought that was too soon. And we've seen the skin tone volunteers who maybe suggest that, so.
It's hard to get strollers for the extravaganza. We're gonna be talking. They're more for the fun stuff, whereas there's more people walking and talking and.
And
the
it's
other two
expensive.
events.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big investment to be a part of the extravaganza.
Plus, that's not that far away.
Right.
We really
I
don't
mean,
have
I
much
don't
of a
think I
turnaround
don't think
time.
we're prepared with enough information
Right.
or enough.
For the
like,
extravaganza.
To draw
Yeah.
people in for the extravaganza.
Sheila, are the Friends participating in the Waterfall Festival this year?
Haven't heard anything, I can tell you after Wednesday.
Is maybe what we can
We
do
can
is,
piggyback.
Yeah.
be close to each other.
Not sure.
And even if they don't, you didn't participate last year. But it would still be, again, I worked logistics for about 15 years in that for the chamber, tripping around. It is more of a strolling kind of thing, but the key is if you're just handing out pamphlets, people will walk by you. If you have some game for the kids or you have a handout,
Yeah.
people walk over.
Oh, candy.
Yeah, you're gonna talk about having the not exceed amount for printed materials too, for these kind of events, but that's down the line.
Well, if you're gonna need it for waterfall, you need it now.
Weren't you gonna look into
Okay.
the tote bags?
Yeah.
So I think maybe over the summer, communications committee or whatever, if we're gonna work on Waterfall Festival, we need to come up with the flyers. We need to come up with whatever gifts are gonna be there, and I can do an email vote for approval of the expenses. And you'll see that, I'll send it out to folks, and it will say in the subject line, vote. Right, so please, open it up, don't say, yeah, it's summer, Diane.
One of the things we discussed in the, on the video meetings, and Lisa was going to look into it, we all have been to so many trade shows and conventions, and somebody usually hands out a bag. And then you can go around to all the other booths and you have someplace to put all your tchotchkes. So we were thinking of doing something like that. So that would almost obviate a tchotchke. We could just
Right.
give the bag out.
We were talking about that at the craft fair,
Yeah.
because they get about 300 to 400 people
At the crafters?
Here,
Yes,
the one
Wow.
that their friends are having.
and that's when.
And we'll give them a bag and you can always put something in the bag, but then they can buy their stuff and put them in the bag.
But even if we did that at the, for the waterfall festival.
And I like, what was it, the key holders, the bracelet
Yes, I
key
love
holders, I like
mine.
those. Yeah. So we'll see what those.
The Friends Craft Fair was another spot we talked about because
Yeah.
of their exposure was to have something, because while people are. It's kind of library adjacent, people are also coming out who are crafters, they aren't necessarily library.
Well, it's not the typical library patron.
Right.
So that's a perfect time to expand our audience
We're
with.
doing it Sunday this time, so that the library isn't open. So that makes a difference.
Yeah, so maybe if we had a bag with the,
Yeah.
with the pamphlet.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking for that. When they come in, you could have a table just promoting the
Yeah.
board and handing out the bag and then they can be on their way.
And I had also reached out to Deanna of Karma's Closet, and she was open to having us have a table at one of her craft fairs that she has throughout the year as well. So that would be another avenue that we could.
She's so good. Well, to everybody.
We also talked about, mailing, trying to find new residents, you know, by looking at the town records and mailing them packages, just saying, you know, it's the library, come visit us anytime, here's like all our services. That's something we.
Yeah, that's really dining partners.
Yeah, same with dining partners too,
We could capitalize on them.
yeah. They will come back once it's expired, maybe, so.
How do I get one of them? Okay. Anything else? Any questions for John?
Chris, is there anything else? I mean, you sent a big email.
Yeah, I think you covered most of what we're talking.
The only other video that's in process is for the door. The staff is doing it, so
Is doing
you
video
can kind
for
of
the
do like
door?
a time lapse
That'll be
once
fun.
it's done.
Yeah. I like that. Is Michelle doing it? Who's?
Well, they're collecting the pictures right now. There's nothing's really happening outside.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great, thank you. Okay, any other questions, thoughts on communication? Yes, all right. Old business, the Newington Library 5K road race, Just kind of a recap of what worked, what didn't work. We had more sponsors than ever before, thank you so much. And some of the sponsors had increased their donations, so that's great. We need thank you notes.
Yes, I'll do them.
You'll do them?
Yeah.
We love that.
Don't you have the library ones?
Yes, I do have those. Yep.
And don't forget Tim Mankey
For the.
for the water station and washing station. I wash and wash.
I'll do the sponsors, cause I don't know who else is involved.
Yep.
Elsewhere.
We usually did the, did we do that?
I will be contacting them too, so that's some information.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it, thank you.
So is that, do we need more volunteers or people?
You got
or-
that address for that other?
I don't think so.
There's lots of grumbling and mumbling over there. Are we getting any information that's actionable? So you're doing the sponsors and we've got the prize people handle?
Well, maybe just stop in and pick them up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Once I have the final dollars on, we had a couple of things that were charged to the credit card. Once I have the final, we'll get you a final report, financial on it. It'll be a recap on the race.
Okay. So what worked well and what didn't? One of the things that I had heard is that, we seem to have problems with bib numbers. There was a bit of confusion with 4 or 5 different people. And it's very confusing.
That's a mystery.
It is a mystery, so we're not quite sure how it happened, but how do we prevent it from happening again? Maybe we'll do a checks and balances thing
Kevin
and
suggested
registration.
having the 2 people at the table and then a third person will just double check their bid number against their name to make sure it's the right bid number before they walk off.
Right,
That just guarantees that they got the right bid number.
right, and if you're not familiar with races, which I never was before all this started, but the bid number is important because it's associated with your name and your age group, and that's associated with your standing, you know, and any kind of prizes that you might get and be in the drawings for. But it's also your time, right? If you're, even if you can time yourself and what goes on, so it's important that that's. We always have a little bit of a hullabaloo Saturday when people come in or, you know, they're signed up or not signed up and we need more numbers, but, I guess there were a couple of times there that was kind of weird. So let's remember that maybe we're gonna have a check. So we probably need that check on Saturdays as well as race day.
One thing I'd like to bring up too is, just double checking to make sure that they put the power out at the bus garage. Because I did call a week before, they said they put it out, and I think they probably did put it out, but I think somehow, it wasn't out for the race. But I don't know if it ever was out and
I
someone
don't
put it in or,
Yeah,
but just making sure that we have it, cause we kind of scrambled a little bit, but we got it done, so.
And the, the police presence, they're always, very nice and helpful. But we had that one incident with the little
Ice cream truck.
readers,
Yeah.
the ice cream truck. He cut across the park on the grass
Yeah, on the
and
walking.
came right into the course. I mean, the look on Christine's face.
Nose for right for the little readers friend.
Yeah.
No, I know,
well, there,
You know,
we
how
also,
sometimes people need a wake up call.
we also just,
Safety.
notified Parks and Rec to remind them because Garfield is closed and there was some sort of.
There was basketball, because
They
I was
were-
dealing with that.
And people were trying to drive down Garfield. So I think that's just a communications
The
thing.
whole,
Yeah, and the one other thing too, and this is something that I'm on cert, so I can work with them a little bit more, but I think certain radio leagues have to work better together because we had some corners not covered and then others that were dual, so we had to do a quick swap.
That's fine.
But it wasn't difficult. Challenges like the ice cream truck were the people who said, I can drive down there. I said, no, you can't. You're not special.
Kevin just wanted to, the woman, I think, I forget what her name was, the woman who won the women's overall, beat the course record for women.
Oh,
Wow.
She was under 18
Wow.
minutes.
And I just want to do a shout out to Jen. She helped me with getting the square reader in place. It seemed to work pretty well. I
Yeah.
didn't hear any complaints.
Mhm.
And the reports I'm able to get off of that, the way we set it up for registration for little readers and Bill Rogers and things like that. The reporting is really good. So the accountant in me really liked it. It did cost us a little bit in fees, but we're only getting the fees when we use it, so.
So thank you, Jen. Thank you, Leah. And thank you to Joanne. She, I'll get there. She, said that she enjoyed working with Bill so much that she'd sign up to be his liaison every year, so. Anybody else that's interested might have to arm wrestle her. There's two. And Christine, you survived the ice cream truck and the little sprinters? How did that go?
It's very good. I even have some of the little kids that weren't running. They were still of an age to run, but they decided not to. And they're like, can we help? We have the bags. I'm like, sure. But the kids that came from the high school were very good and they were very helpful and organized. And I did have a parent on Saturday ask if the Little Readers race could be before the initial race. Because some of the parents that had kids were walking or pushing the stroller or whatever, and they didn't get last time. They didn't get back until it had already started. And so this year they didn't register the kids to do it. So she's like, oh, do you think it could be beforehand? And I was like, I couldn't tell you.
Well,
So
off the top of my head, a couple of things come to mind. One, that's a crazy time for us with registration for everybody else, and it's a crazy time for people coming in, trying to park last minute or changing,
Right.
going around. I don't know if that's the safest time
right.
to run that little sprinters.
So I was just like,
But I'm open to other opinions. I just,
yeah,
that's my, off the cuff thought. And initially it was put in as some kind of an entertainment for the little kids, who are
Right.
patiently waiting for the others to come through.
right.
I watched them for the first time
They're
this
really
year.
cute.
Oh my God, They were so great, and I loved I mean, there were the kids whose father was carrying them and they were crying the whole time. And then there were such enthusiasm, pumping their little arms and running like, they were in the Olympics. And I think it's a great little.
Yeah, they all got their tote bags and they were all very.
George, did
happy.
Nathan have fun?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, that was,
He
yeah,
looked like
we
he
did
was
it.
having fun.
The water bottle on the tote bag and it just like broke.
I have one for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I was so upset about that. Yeah, yeah, fun.
But I have one.
Of course.
Thank you.
It's like better quality ones next
Yeah.
time.
Thank you. I know it is becoming popular. We get more and more kids that are signed up for it, but it was kind of a something for the families that are waiting to do.
Oh, I was sitting with grandparents and aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
It's not just the mothers and fathers that are
Right.
watching.
Right. As one who was always like the extra adult, I would be the sitting and watching the little ones as the adults would run through, but, yeah, I'm thinking logistically to run it
I
beforehand
don't
is
think we
just,
could do it before.
we couldn't do it there. We'd have to do it someplace else.
Yeah, it would have to be somewhere else, and so,
I think
I
you
don't
have
know.
to, I think you have to put a warning, like if you're planning walking with the 5K or a kid, and you wanna do this, it's not gonna work.
Well, that's why we put
Right.
the timing out.
Exactly.
you know, I don't know if we,
And I can attest to there were some runners, some walkers and some strollers.
Yeah.
And strollers not meaning the push kind.
right. Well, even for the little reader ones, there was the stroll, pushing their kid through that, but my favorite was they all gun ho to do it. Until it was like, okay, run, and then they started screaming and crying, and I was like, did you do this? It was 2 seconds ago, you wanted to do this, now you're screaming.
I was, I had a kid run in front of me and then we turned around, and right at the last second, I almost crashed.
My favorite was the fathers holding the kids and.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you are having fun.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Thank you. Thank you for running that, making that.
But I got the tote bags at Oriental Trading on them too, so.
Good.
FYI, if you look at your tote bags.
Diane, one thing about the bid numbers, since those are assigned beforehand, could a secondary check be having something printed where they go and verify their number, like they're on boards or something? So we've handed out their number, we've checked it off, but if I am, impose 15 for 51, they go and they find their name and they see, and I'm only saying it now because I won't think of this when we'll talk to them about it next year. They go and they can verify too.
Would they though?
Well, then it's not all on us that it was wrong.
Right.
This, in defense of whomever, this is the first time in how long? That we've
Well, we
been doing
sometimes
this,
have one
that
or two, but
that
seems
this
to
was,
be like
seemed to be such an issue.
5 or 6
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah,
like,
that
enough
was
that it was
memorized.
like,
I don't know why.
we gotta figure out what's happening there. It's a thought. It's a thought. So staff appreciation dinner, we had that, I think we talked about it earlier, thank you to everyone who was involved, thank you for everyone who took the time out to come. I think it's important, and, yeah, I had fun. It was-
Yeah, it was very nice.
And also to thank TJ's.
Yeah, they did
I
a nice
think,
job.
the owner, I dealt with him, Tim, and he was just so accommodating. It was just like, whatever you want. They have a catering menu, but it really was for a different type of event. So really, we just told him what we wanted, and he said, okay.
That's nice.
So
I know he's
they
been
were
very supportive of other
Yeah.
library events. and
Yeah,
stuff,
he
too,
was
so.
very, very supportive, and the waitress that he assigned to our group was great.
Yeah.
She was pleasant and efficient and, yeah, worked out
And the
well.
time was had by all.
Yeah.
Panel.
Yeah.
Sue,
experience, I believe we have two
Yes.
dates set up now.
there's a date. Saturday, October 3rd. There's gonna be two programs.
Right.
The first program is called Mythology Workshop for second to fifth graders. That's at 1:30. And then teens will have an improv workshop at 3 o'clock,
Same day?
same day. And it will cost a total of $600. So
Nice.
they're under budget, so
For each program or both?
all together.
Well. What grades for Kings?
For what? Oh, the teens?
Yeah.
Well, that would be six.
Oh, teens, I thought you said kings.
No, teens,
Oh, Shakespeare.
6 to 12. Grade 6 to 12,
So,
1:30 and 3.
okay, so both sessions are on Saturday after.
And what was the teens program?
What's it called? It's an improvisation workshop.
Super, thank you, and thank you to working with Bailey and getting that, set up, coordinated with their schedules, it's great. You're fun.
And
I'm
then
sure
we'll
enough
have
to be
more
a fifth grader.
I'm sure.
Maybe a third grader.
Boy, they're really tough. And more to come, we'll have probably another musical event or something other than.
Let's
The
remember
kiddos.
when first night is and avoid that.
It's always the
Yes.
first Friday, I think.
First Friday in December, we are avoiding that date.
Yes.
The tree lighting.
Yes.
So, okay. Newington Afghans, there's been no, movement on that yet, so we'll just.
Well, if somebody wants to start working on it, it needs to be revamped before we can move forward on it.
Right,
It is a potential fundraiser, but it's out in the distant future, but we have the copyright, so.
right. Open board positions, we do have two, corporate positions open, which is why I was telling you we could kind of play the shell game with town and whatever, but from that end. New business, do we have any new business? That's not on there, no? Okay. Public participation, do we have anybody online? Okay, and I don't see anyone in the room for public participation. So, item 15, motion. Oh, let me just remind folks one more time, the next official meeting is September. We'll have the 6 o'clock meeting for the business meeting and then the 7 o'clock annual meeting. Okay,
Are we? I won't be here.
That'll be the eighth, right? The second.
the second Monday.
I won't be here.
That would be the 14th.
Are we providing, I know we'll do refreshments for the annual.
For the
but
annual,
We're not doing
no,
food like we used to.
it's,
Are we involved in Labor Day at all? Does that throw off?
are we what?
Does Labor Day throw it off at all? I know that sometimes, things get thrown off. and I know that-
Labor Day is the first Monday, the seventh.
So we're the
That's first
second,
and
yeah,
the
it's on the regular time period, okay.
Okay. So, just a reminder that those meetings happen on that day. And if you have your committee signed already, you know they belong to
That's not mine.
Maureen or
Maureen.
Brendan in September. And again, if you're at all interested immediately or in the near term future of, being an executive officer, president, vice president, director, or secretary, let us know. All right, so now I would entertain a motion for adjournment. Thank you, Melissa. Do I have a second?
Sorry.
Thank you. Oh, we'll let Dave take this.
Oh, we'll let you do it, Dave.
Let Dave take that. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your summer. Don't forget about the London.
Don't forget about committee meetings.
Yeah, we'll have some committee meetings, but thank you very much for taking time tonight.
There's just one person I have to get.
Leanne, you'll just email us a while about.